and half and half. All right. Good evening, everyone. Sorry we're a little tardy. We'll try to make up time on the way. We'll reconvene our session, and I'll have Trustee Lang report out actions taken in closed session.
There were no reportable actions taken in closed session.
Thank you, Trustee Lang. Now we will have the invocation led by Trustee Milchiker, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Trustee Prendergast.
As we gather here tonight, let us be mindful of our service to our students and our community. Let us use our resources wisely and well, represent all members of our community fairly, and make decisions that promote the common good. As we enter into this very busy time of the year, help us to be extra patient and be kind to others. Lead us to recognize the good work of our faculty and staff, and trust us to guide our students as they prepare for their exciting futures. Amen.
Please join me in saluting the world's most recognized symbol of freedom and democracy. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And it looks like we have one request for a public comment, and that will come from Nancy Montgomery. And if we could ask that you try to limit your remarks to 2 minutes, that would be appreciated.
Good evening. I would just like to take this time to thank Trustee James Wright and Dr. Rockmore and Terry Flugelman for attending our March 8th event in Sacramento with Operation Veteran Resource Center funding. We had about 300 veterans show up that day to advocate, to talk about why that funding's needed in the state and throughout all the 113 colleges. It was an event to be remembered and pretty much a historical day because there has never been any group of veterans assemble that large at one time at the state capitol. And it turned out to be a wonderful, empowering day for our veterans also. So I just wanted to say thank you again to those three individuals for attending and for taking your time out.
Thank you. Okay, we will now move on to board reports. And I think we'll start with Trustee Witt. Haven't started with you in a while.
I know. Good evening, everyone. I attended several events, but I have to share with you one that was outstanding. And when I was at that dinner that night, I thought, I wish every faculty member at Saddleback and IVC could be sitting here eating this dinner. Dinner was good, but the presentations were awesome. I think TJ had mentioned earlier about the STEM programs with the science, technology, engineering, and math. Well, the students from Irvine that are building this satellite, I met, and they were there and presented their work. You should have seen them. At first, because I walked in, not late, but so many tall people were ahead of me, I didn't see them, and I thought they were the faculty. Thought they were young, but at any rate, they spoke eloquently, and what they were doing is absolutely phenomenal. And if you can share STEM with your colleagues, your friends, your family, have a conversation to get other students involved. This satellite is going to be shot off in India, and they have everything planned to the T. I'm hoping it works. There are 2 other high schools who have tried this, but it didn't work. But I have a feeling Irvine's going to do it. Now, I have to tell you another story. This is phenomenal. So we're sitting at dinner, and this man, what's his name? Rob Mansabella, and he has written a book, and I thought, okay, tell me about your book. But it was incredible. He puts up on the slide this 12-year-old kid. And he said this child wanted to know about photography. And the next slide you see is a photographer, a young photographer at the NFL. He is 16 years old. He is a photographer hired by the NFL already. But where he went to school, there was no photography classes. So he went to his teacher, said, can you help me out? And he goes, I'm sorry, kid, you're going to have to wait till high school. High school, there was no photography. So what became his instructors and his school? The next picture that you see was so cool. The next picture that you see is a map of the world with all the little internets everywhere. And he had this problem, he would go to Australia. He had this problem, he would go here. He would go there. He would go everywhere. Who were his teachers? His teachers were those sites. What was his classroom? His classroom was the world. And the title of the book is Personal Learning Networks, Using the Power of Connections to Transform Education. Everybody hold on to your seats. We're going places. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Milchiker.
Okay, well, I just wanted to mention I've never missed an accreditation exit interview, and I was delighted that I was actually urged to attend the IVC accreditation team's exit interview. I've never heard such an incredibly glowing report. IVC in the district received 9 commendations, the most I've ever seen. I understand, because I had some other people that I knew that attended Saddleback's, and I read the report, that Saddleback's accreditation exit interview was the same. That one was incredible as well, and they also received 9 commendations. So I want to thank everyone who worked so long and so hard to create the documents, the esprit de corps, and such a wonderful outcome for both of our colleges. I attended the Wounded Warriors amputee softball team versus the Orange County All-Star baseball game and Veterans Resource Fair at Saddleback College. The Wounded Warriors are a national baseball team made up of veterans who have lost their limbs in combat. And the Orange County All-Stars were a team made up of local politicians, dignitaries, and Saddleback College veterans' friends. And many of my favorite veteran group were there. And it was at the Saddleback College baseball field. Our own Orange County Community College Legislative Task Force has drafted legislation that allowed our vets to attend our classes without paying out-of-state tuition. And we're also providing input on federal regulations to identify educational priorities such as year-round Pell Grants and funding to assist CTE pathways. Other impressive events I attended this month were the IVC Foundation Gala, Coffee with the Trustees and Chancellors, the Saddleback College Emeritus Distinguished Lecture Series, where there are 730 students in the class. That's our largest class of all. And the Big Band Swing Thing at Saddleback College. So a few upcoming events I really want you to put on your calendars. Put your boots on the ground and register for the Saddleback College Vets 5K Run. It's going to be on Father's Day, June 18th, and I have brochures for the other board members to raise money for student veterans. I have flyers for here, and you get a 10% off if you register before April 1st. Also, there's going to be a Women's Leadership Conference that I'm involved in at Saddleback College on April 28th, put on by several AAUWs. We're able to secure funding to allow this all-day conference to be free for college students, including lunch. So who says there's no such thing as a free lunch? It should be very valuable, and I'm a panelist, so I'm sure it will be valuable. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Lang.
Yes, in light of our late start tonight, I have no report.
That's very kind of you. Trustee Wright.
Thank you, Trustee Jamal. First of all, I attended along with Bobby Jay, the accreditation team exit session for Saddleback College here on Thursday, March the 2nd, 2017, here in this room. I was very impressed with the exit session. Dr. Tabernet has said this: I have never been more proud of Saddleback than I was on Thursday, March the 2nd at the visiting team's exit session, where Dr. Cynthia Azari, visiting team chair and president of Oxford College, stated to a packed room of over 150 students, faculty, staff, managers, and trustees, I want to thank everyone for your warmth, your hospitality, and willingness to provide additional information, even though you prepared an incredible institutional self-study. Dr. Azari also stated that the team had 7 accommodations for the college and 2 for the district. In addition to the visiting team's 5 recommendations for Saddleback College, and then also 1 for the district. It's already been mentioned that IVC also received overwhelming positive comments in their accreditation exit interview. Then I wanted to talk for just a minute about Wednesday, March the 8th. I was privileged to attend the Operation Veterans Resource Center funding event at the State Capitol Building in Sacramento, California. There are currently 113 community colleges in California with over 70,000 veterans enrolled in California community colleges. There is no state, VA, or federal funding to support veterans as they acclimate from military life to college life. Veterans Resource Centers are active at over 50 community colleges. Research found that veterans who have site support services graduate at improved rates. We are very fortunate here at IVC, Irvine Valley College, and Saddleback College to have exemplary veteran resource centers. The event on this Wednesday was a huge success. My group met personally with Senator John Morlach and also Senator Josh Newman. The veterans in our group, including myself, spoke proudly about veterans' needs and issues. Senator Josh Newman is writing a Senate bill to support our veterans Senate resource centers and should be completed by April of this year. Also, I attended the Irvine Valley College Annual Foundation Awards Dinner. It was wonderful. And then finally, I want to praise Interim Chancellor Deborah Fitzsimmons for her perspective letter that she sent out on March the 10th. It was well done and should be read by all.
Thank you, Trustee Wright. I will go. I also attended the IVC Gala. Glenn, congratulations to you and your team, Alyssa, and the whole gang there at the foundation. I do hope it raised a lot of money for student scholarships. And I must say I'm also a little proud that I appear to be more popular than Irvine Mayor Don Wagner. I'm happy to be out 2 lunches for that. And it's definitely well worth it if it raises some money for student scholarships. And believe me, I didn't hesitate to tell them that immediately after the dinner, who was more popular in Irvine. Most of you don't know what we're talking about. We auctioned off some items, including a lunch with me as the board president. So in return of buying someone lunch, then we raise money for student scholarships, which is a very good cause. Happy to do that. I attended the South OC Economic Report, Todd, with your team. Excellent turnout. Dean Tang did a wonderful job on his presentation. The data, not all that hopeful in terms of really telling a story where the median wage in Orange County is not keeping up with housing prices here. So our real challenge as a community economically and with our colleges and our industry is how do we keep high wage, high skilled jobs here and how do we grow them? And that's a real challenge. And there's no easy answers to that. We're going to have to slog through it. The coffees at Irvine Valley College and Saddleback College, we had those listening sessions last year. For those who remember, we've changed the format a little. Trustee Milchiker, myself, and Chancellor Fitzsimmons attended both of them. One at IVC and one at Saddleback. Thank you for all coming, for asking really good questions. We do take them seriously. We'll be having more coffees in the future. And then finally, Todd, look forward to the gala this weekend. This is your kind of your going away party. Well, that's how they headlined the invitation. So we'll see you this weekend. Thank you. Trustee Jay.
Okay. I attended the exiting of the accreditation team here at Saddleback College with Dr. Wright. And at the exit, when the team left, Dr. Todd Burnett spoke, and he spoke and thanked everyone who worked so hard on the accreditation. That was so much work. And after his talk, Dr. Burnett had a standing ovation from everybody in the audience. And then I attended the Saddleback College, the South Orange County 2017 Economic Report Luncheon with remarks by Todd Bennett and Paul Simons, chairman of the South Orange County Economic Coalition. More than 75 elected officials and business leaders attended the luncheon. The room was packed. The presentation was given by Tony Tang, and it was fantastic. Thanks, Tony Tang, for the excellent report and all your dedicated hard work. And then on March 11th, I attended the IVC Gala at the Discovery Cube in Orange County. It was an excellent event with dinner was served by the Tulip Rose, and there were many good speakers. I had sponsored half a table, and my guests were some of our disadvantaged students. And this was really the best part of the evening for me, was being able to be with these students and to hear their story. So, I witnessed what a wonderful job IVC is doing, and the foundation doing for what they're doing for our students, especially the single mothers. IVC Foundation college staff are literally changing people's lives.
Thank you. Trustee Prendergast.
No report.
Oh, wow. All right. Student Trustee Ford.
So this month I got to go to some cool events. At the very beginning of the month, I got to attend the Irvine Valley College Arts Show. It was put on over at the Great Park. It's very cool to see a lot of the student art out there, and faculty as well. I do look forward to having a gallery back at Irvine Valley College in the future, because I think it's really excellent for students to be able to showcase their work. It was really cool. I appreciated it very much. Got to, of course, go to the awards dinner for the foundation. That was fantastic. Very proud that the administrator, which Tracy Fahimi and Carrie Tucker and Dawn Murphy are all from, they're close friends, and they're all in the same department I am, what I study in, social behavior sciences. So it was really cool to see like my team up there winning. I was like, yeah, awesome. So that was very cool. The dinner was good. One note, perhaps for the future, a lot of the students that I sat with at the tables didn't realize like what that they had to order before if they were going to get vegetarian or whatnot, and a lot of them had religious observations and things like this, so they didn't realize they had to change their meal plan. So unfortunately for dinner they were only served mashed potatoes because they were out of the vegetarian option. So that was all they received for dinner. So maybe in the future if we could just coordinate that better. I know that's way up here, but it's just I felt bad for the students who didn't get to enjoy the same dinner I got to enjoy. But it was a really cool event. This coming Saturday at UCI is the Honors Transfer Council of California's research symposium. Myself and a bunch of my fellow students will be presenting our research findings. It's a really excellent chance and opportunity for students to present research, and there's a lot of poachers that are there from big universities that come in and meet with the students who win prizes and offer them full ride scholarships and things like that. So it's really cool. If you get a chance to go over there, it's going to be Saturday morning at UCI at their convention hall. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Chancellor's report.
I just want to share my appreciation to both of the colleges again for the outstanding accreditation reports. To have 17 commendations coming out of IVC and Saddleback College is just really something to be truly proud of, and that really is something that is very unusual. And the emphasis that both teams, visiting teams I should say, placed on student success and being so student-centered, we really have a lot to be proud of across this district. And I also want to say my observations during the time that I've been interim chancellor. This board is so active. They attend so many different events each month. They don't phone it in. They spend a lot of time preparing for their materials, but they're also day in, day out, attending a lot of the various college events, and there's a lot of activities going on across this district in a given week. So I really want to commend the board for their participation and all the things that you do. Really care about what's going on at the colleges, and I think that really needs to be appreciated and commended. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Fitzsimmons. College presidents' reports. Saddleback College.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, just like everyone else, we in this district should be very proud of our accreditation. I mentioned it at our exit interview, but this is the first time, I believe, in a couple decades that we have not had a recommendation for our board. So I wanted to congratulate all of you, and us as a district. And congratulations to IVC. It really was superb work for both of us. In fact, I just do want to say one, and I mentioned it also to 150 people at our exit interview, but I truly have never seen a commendation like this, and I'm just so proud of our folks of what they've done. And I just want to state this is one of the 9. And by the way, the district services actually did get 3 commendations after all. But with that, this commendation truly is remarkable, and it says, the team commends the college for its student-centered approach to learning and student services. There is an enthusiastic collegial spirit and a commitment to student success exhibited by faculty, staff, and management throughout the college. The college has demonstrated that it has a student-centric culture that is integrated within each and every area of the college. Faculty, staff, management, and program areas work in concert to provide students with a consistent structure of support, recognition, and inclusion. That is exactly what we're here to do, and I was just very proud that our faculty, staff, management, and community and our district was able to get that commendation, so congratulations. With that, thank you very much, trustees, for mentioning the gala. It's coming up, and congratulations to IVC for a wonderful gala, and it's our turn. So we look forward to seeing you. Tickets are, I was literally just texted a little while ago that it's almost sold out, so if folks want to get there, hurry up and get your ticket. Thank you about the economic report, and Trustee Jamal, thank you for mentioning that. In fact, one of the things I think we can do is a better job of looking at the data that we have and how to use it to impact us. And in addition to the housing and issues, what's very important to us, and we've seen in our demographics, is that we're losing young people and their parents. Which is exactly, I think, what Trustee Jamal was alluding to, and that's an important thing to remember. Finally, tomorrow is the last in our free speech series, and I'm not going to, are you going to talk about it, Lucy? Okay, then I'll let her talk about it. You folks, I just want to thank our ASG, Lucy Hendrick, Raja Rahi, Emily Quinlan, our faculty, and everybody to put together a very difficult and sensitive issue on free speech that's just gone remarkably well. And tomorrow's our headliner, I guess, with Erwin Chermaninsky, which we're excited to have. So thank you, Lucy, and we'll see you all Saturday.
Excellent. Look forward to Saturday. And I should have said, congratulations to both of you on your accreditation reports. That is excellent, excellent news. Glenn Rockmore.
Yes, thank you very much. Accreditation, I have to mention as well. It has been a very long time. I certainly have lived through some accreditation processes that didn't come out quite so well. This was just absolutely fantastic to experience. Congratulations to Saddleback as well. That both colleges did fantastic, as well as district services and our trustees. But it gives me the opportunity to once again thank the teams that worked on putting together this self-evaluation. And one of the leaders right here next to me, our Academic Senate President, Kathy Schmeidler, provided a great deal of leadership in that, as well as many others. And there were some late nights, folks, and just everybody poured their hearts in that, and it showed. And I think that's fantastic. It says a lot about both colleges. And then just real quickly here, I know we need to move on, but the Foundation Awards Dinner, I don't have the numbers yet. I think Alyssa's still working on that. But
I asked her about it at the coffee.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's still penciling. But you're absolutely right. Alyssa's leadership and the team that she has built there has really put together a tremendous fundraising capability, and we'll continue to keep notching it up. And so kudos go out to her. That was a fantastic event. Thank you all that came. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Now I think we're off to Associated Student Governments. We're going with Saddleback first. Okay.
Hello, everyone. So I'll first talk about the Use Your Voice event, since Dr. Burnett gave me a good introduction there. But for those of you who know me personally know how excited I am for tomorrow. I am a huge fan of Dean Chemerinsky, so I am really looking forward to having him tomorrow. So we will be in the SM building, 313, from 2 to 4 p.m. If any of you are around and interested in joining us, it should be a great discussion. We'll be focusing on the differences between free speech and academic freedom and how all of these different interactions kind of intersect in the classroom. So should be a really, really great discussion. And before I move on to the rest of my report, I did just want to give a quick thank you to all of you who have helped me put this together. I have made a lot of crazy things happen as far as getting different speakers to come, and it would have not been possible without the support of many of you in this room. So please feel my appreciation there, because I really, really thank all of you for giving the time to me for that. Some other things just to share with you all. We did have our first awareness day where we bring different topics to the student body and kind of give a little bit more information about them. So we did our first last week focusing on women's rights, homelessness, and racism. And then we'll be doing our next one next week, and we'll tie it in with our blood drive. So for those of you who are on campus, we will be doing the blood drive with the Red Cross on the 4th and 5th. So it'll be all day in SSC 212. So I know a lot of you do come by and give blood, and we really appreciate that. So if you are interested, we'll be doing that next week. And I did also want to say that we are having our elections this week for a new board for next year. So I am running out of my time here. This will be hopefully my last semester. I did get into 2 colleges, so I will be going somewhere else in the future. But we'll be having a new board come in, and I'm sure you all will meet them soon, and it'll be a really great team. And lastly, I just wanted to share that we will be having 15 students from the student government attend the gala this weekend, helping volunteer and greet. So for those of you who are in attendance, we will look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Lucy. Will you be here at the next board meeting?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
No, I will be here for the rest of the year.
All right.
We're electing someone new so they can start training.
Proper commendation. Okay. Irvine Valley College.
Good evening, everyone. So first off, I want to congratulate everyone on the accreditations report. The student leaders was one of the student leader participation was one of the accommodations from the accreditation teams, and I'm proud of that. Second, the ASG Budget and Finance Committee has finished all the budget hearings and will be deliberating this Friday. We currently have 2.3 million in requests, and we projected to have 550,000 in funding. Our elections has been completed, and the results have been posted for most positions. However, there were several elections violations, and appeals are currently under review with the Elections Tribunal, who are meeting this week. The final result should be finalized this week, and the full results of the elections ballot will be shared. Our voting was up almost 100%. Last year it was 400-ish, and this year there were 900 students voting. On March 2nd, a first day, the entire student government boothed at the SSC squad to interact with the student body and share what has been worked on the past years. I personally attended the foundation award dinner as well. The ASG IVC supported the foundations by buying 5 tables at the dinner, 2 of which were for ASG students, 1 for DSPS and EOPS students, 1 for student ambassador, and 1 for the past ASG scholarship recipients. And lastly, this coming Wednesday, we are hosting the Persian New Year celebrations. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're now on to board reports, and it looks like we do have a request. Trustee Lang, do you want to summarize your request?
Sure. Basically, my request is to. Thought I had that on. Okay. But my request was basically to understand where we are in terms of administrative regulations and how they are keeping up with policy in which we have asked for there to be administrative regulations. It's a fairly simple request.
Okay. Do we have I think we need a motion to approve this board report. A motion from Trustee Prendergast and a second from Trustee Milchiker. Any further discussion? Okay, let's go ahead and vote on the item. And I seem to have a different.
Motion to adjourn. What happened?
I think you guys would be happy. It does, but yeah, is that what it's showing on our screen? It's showing motion to adjourn. And I have a different. All right, so it looks like
There we go.
do you need to do it again? Let's have a revote. No, I have his. Oh, on the left-hand side, it has.
We just did it again.
Yeah. So no, on the text of the item is correct. It's on the right-hand side of our screen, which says motion to adjourn. On the left-hand side, I think it's correct. Okay. Okay. So.
I don't have that.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Motion to approve Trustee Lang's board request report. We have a unanimous trustee yes vote, And a student advisory, yes vote. I can't see it right now. Yeah. All right. So let's move on. We have our discussion item, and I think we're going to have a presentation on adult education.
Yes. Good evening, and now that the meeting's back in order, good evening, trustees, chancellor, and colleagues. I'm Dr. Kathleen Greiner, Dean for Business Sciences, Online and Extended Education at Irvine Valley College. Along with my colleague, Dean Estella Garrison, we appreciate the time to provide a focused update on adult education block grant, known to us belovedly as AEBG or AB 104, Assembly Bill 104. This overview presentation is to provide a context for two contracts noted in items 611 and 612, funds dispersal greater than $100,000. So to the first slide. There we go. Yeah. It will be, yeah, please, thank you. Okay.
Is this it?
Okay, just to kind of backtrack a little bit, the purpose of the Adult Education Block Grant really is to provide a seamless process between the unified school districts in our region as well as the community colleges. And as a result, we have established the South Orange County Regional Consortium. I'll describe the members here in just a few minutes, but the purpose of this grant was established in 2013-14. Okay, we'll get back up to the, there it is. Yeah, 13-14 was to establish, again, this consortium that I talked about, but also provide an opportunity for adults post-high school, if you will, to gain skills and prepare for employment, job, and workforce development. As you can see from this slide, we have 10 member institutions, certainly the two community colleges, Irvine Valley College and Saddleback Community College, as well as the Irvine school districts. The Irvine School District, Tustin Unified School District, Capistrano Unified, Saddleback Valley Unified, and Laguna Beach Unified. In addition, we have three community partners, the Orange County Department of Education, as well as two ROPs. The College and Career Advantage ROP as well as the Coastline ROP. Those 10 members form the South Orange County Regional Consortium. We also have a number of community partners, as you can see, whether it's public libraries as well as other partners that provide site locations for us to offer our programs. In addition, we have 4 program areas, adult basic education, English as a second language, adults with disabilities, as well as career technical education, and we have folded in apprenticeships to that particular program area where it is appropriate. We also have staff available, and I just want to quickly mention them. Our project specialist, Kristen Delkamp, who's here this evening, as well as our compliance officer, Dr. Darla Calve, who's also here this evening. Stella?
Great. As Dr. Greiner shared with you, we have been working with our 10 partners as a consortia over the past few years. We started our work in Assembly Bill 86, where we developed our planning. We really looked at what adult education was like for the South Orange County region. And we looked at all the varying programs that are offered at the community colleges in the K through 12. And we developed a plan on how we can re-envision what adult education should look like and how we can better serve our community as we move forward. And so what that looked like is we really took a look at the student populations that were being served there by both entities, and then how we can really kind of integrate and align our seamless and develop seamless processes for these students, and to continue to stage ourselves for growth as we move forward. So here we have the 4 program areas that Dr. Greiner mentioned, and what we've seen so far in the past year and a half, 2 years of implementation as we move forward are successes. We've seen these successes in the way as we've implemented the plan, AB 86, and we've seen students already gain significant growth in terms of their career development, in terms of their education, and so forth. And so some of the things we wanted to share with you today is what we've seen in terms of our partnership with the Orange County Department of Ed. We've been working with them to develop a high school diploma program. Each one of those students who are in that diploma program are also at one of our colleges taking CTE. It's a part of their program. And so we see these students gaining these skills they need in the high school diploma program, as well as preparing for a career through a CTE certificate program. So we're excited about that. The other things that we saw, for example, in our AB 86 planning is that there was a need to have a high school equivalency examination, a testing center here. Irvine Valley College has been offering GED, for example, for a number of years, but there was a need identified in AB 86 to have a high-set testing center. So we were able to open that up. So both of our colleges are able to offer these and prepare students for these programs. So what we've had since March of last year, we've had 676 students take the high school equivalency here on our campus, and then also take the same high school equivalency at IVC as well. And those students are then being prepared to come to one of our colleges to continue on their journey for a higher education. So this is just some examples of what we're doing as a consortia, as we collaborate and make sure that we are building strong programs for our community. And so here we wanted just to kind of address for the board what we have in terms of funding for adult education. We received about $388,000 for adult education to do the planning. And then since then, we've received additional funding to ensure that we can implement these programs and these plans that we have for our community. So in 2015 and 16, what we saw is kind of a restoration of the funding that we saw that became flexible in the K-12 system in 08-09. So what we saw then is when the funding became flexible, adult education kind of contracted. But there's a commitment that we saw with the emergence of Assembly Bill 86 to reinvest in these adult education learners. So what we did was we were able to get the state used a base year of 2012-2013, and they did a what we call MOE, maintenance of effort, for those K-12 districts, as well as received additional funding for consortia. So that way we can allocate out to continue to build those programs that we planned in AB 86. So that's what we received in 2015-16. It's about $4.5 million, and now we've seen it matched in 16-17, and we just received the proposal for 17-18 and 18-19 to continue at that level. So we continue to grow our programs and to serve these students. So we're excited about that. The one thing that we see or we hear throughout the state is that AEBG, Adult Education Block Grant, that G at the end kind of gives the thought that it's a grant, but the state is saying it's not a grant, it's an allocation. So our district should be able to feel confident in that and the funding moving forward.
Next is just evaluating the impact. You've heard a little bit from the stories that Estella has talked about, that we continue to see the change that this makes in people's lives. And that comment was made earlier this evening about the real things that we do that make a difference, and we're seeing that really on a daily basis. But part of that is that we collect data, that we provide the accountability for the expenditure of funds that we're receiving. And $4.5 million is quite a chunk of change. With our 10 consortium members, we work very hard to prioritize how we use those funds, and they directly go in support of the program areas that I just noted earlier this evening. The reliability that we have from the state is that this will be sustained. So the things that we're growing up today, the infrastructure, the faculty support, the information and communication, but more importantly, the daily difference that we provide to students is something that we are going to be able to maintain. So we're not going to play the, we'll get you started, but not help you continue. So someone might need to acquire language skills. Then they need to acquire a technical or some sort of an office or business skill, and then put that to work in a job program. And that is the sequence that we're providing, but that infrastructure is something that we're going to be able to sustain for the long term. It's based on data. How do we know what we're doing? How do we keep track of it? And we have this assessment cycle that's firmly in place. What we're doing, how we know what we're doing, and then more importantly, how do we continue to improve and continue this sustainability? And it really is about the consortium and the collaboration between our two colleges, but with the other 8 members of our consortium as well. Any questions?
Any questions from the board? Okay. I've got to switch screens here.
To switch screens. Okay.
There we go. Trustee Prendergast.
Just giving you your time. I do have a couple questions. One is, so with all these partnerships, where are the classes taught? Are they at the high schools, or are they at the colleges, or a little of both? And who are the teachers? Are they professors or K through 12? I'm just curious as to some of the logistics. And then my second question is about the data. Like, just get a small sampling. Like, how are we doing? Is it a positive thing? Like, are we showing results for that money so that they won't balk at continuing it? And I'm sure it's not just us, it's statewide, but just to get a sense, you mentioned how many students had taken the GED, how many of them passed, just that kind of thing. Just a little update on that.
I'll start with logistics and then turn it over to Estella. In the service area served by Irvine Valley College, we offer courses at Irvine Valley College. Adult English as a second language comes readily to mind, as well as adults with disability. We offer a program for students with autism spectrum disorder. We also offer programs at the Tustin Unified site, that is the adult education school. Irvine Unified has the Creekside location. They offer courses in adult English as a second language as well. And Laguna Beach has started a hospitality program with about 20 some odd students who are acquiring, almost exactly the case study that I gave. They're acquiring language skills as well as some technical skills so that they can be employed in the hospitality industry. So that's the logistics from our side, and I'll talk a little bit more about data in a few seconds.
Sure. And you asked about the HiSET testing center, and we had 676 take that exam. We had 512 of them pass. That's a 76% pass. A number of those students, though, or a number of those persons taking the test weren't part of our program. So what we're doing is reaching out to those who didn't pass and making sure that they know of the opportunities available to them through our programs and through our partnership, depending on where they are. We have a number of them taking, even coming from Tustin, in large vans to come and take the HiSET here. They participate at our partner location, but then they come here to take the HiSET as well. And so they come from all over the South Orange County, and that's the beauty really of what a consortia does, is that they can come and be served wherever we have programming. And to answer your question about where are these classes offered, we have a number of locations, both on our campus. I believe IVC does their adult ed on their campus. We have our adult ed ESL out in the community. We have 2 major sites out in San Juan. We have 1 major site in Mission Viejo. And when I say major, that means we have counseling services there, tutoring services there, all of these wonderful support services ongoing at these sites. And then we have a number of elementary schools that we have a few classes at, et cetera. And so we're always looking to grow. The idea is that we're serving the community in the community, letting them know about all the opportunities that Saddleback has, and then making sure that they are have an opportunity to come to our campus. Leslie Humphrey in the outreach department, for example, does tours for our off-site locations, so that way they can come onto our campus and really feel that they're part of our community as well. The other question you asked was about faculty members. We have, through this partnership, through the consortia, Saddleback College has been able to hire 30 adjunct faculty members in AESL, and we also have presenters who teach high school equivalency, the courses I was talking a little bit about before. Those are our presenters right now because our curriculum is in the non-credit curriculum is going through the process, and so once those become non-credit curriculum, we'll be hiring faculty for those as well. And I think I answered all your questions.
Thank you.
You're
My
welcome.
screen just went off.
Having some technical issues tonight. Trustee Milchiker.
Yeah, it's interesting because just last
It wasn't plugged in. It came unplugged.
And they were telling me how they feel
Yeah, it came unplugged.
adult education programs are now being. Did you shut it off? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. I was at an event last night with a number of school board members, and I was talking to some Capistrano school board members who were saying that they really feel that that Saddleback College is doing an excellent job of administering these adult education programs, that we've gotten the charge to do it now, and we've gotten the funding, I guess, through AB 86 to actually do this at this time. And we were talking about the GED testing that we do. So I also want to know, this is a whole new charge for the community colleges to be, testing for GED, where they're essentially for the students to pass high school equivalency exam, but yet these students are post-secondary in post-secondary education, so that's why they're adult education. That's why we have this charge to serve them. I wondered how this is going, how the how the GED courses are going, and I also wondered how these classes have to go, because they're adult education, they're a whole different division than our other divisions. Do they have to go through the curriculum committee before these classes are being offered? Thank you.
Sure, I can speak from Saddleback College. In terms of what we have done, we've basically seen a building of an adult education department through this process. Before, as you mentioned about Capistrano Unified School District, in the past, in this region, our K-12 partners were the ones who offered adult schools. And through these conversations, through AB 86, we came to the table and started discussing the needs of the community and what that might look like and how we can become better at that. And we talked about alignment. And so there was a shifting that happened with our K-12s when we were at the table with them discussing these very important ways to serve our community. There was this recommitment from the K-12s to commit to the K-12 student, but to not lose the commitment to the adults in our community, because these are the parents, essentially, of their children. So what they asked us, our two K-12s, is for us to come to the table as a higher education institution, the partner that they can lean on in terms of adult education, and for us to be the provider of that. But through this partnership, to really kind of strengthen our partnership by ensuring that we can have wonderful programming for our communities, strong academic programs for our community in their spaces, which is why we're out there in the community. So it's a wonderful partnership. It's a blend of what they do and their commitment to the community and what we do and our commitment to the community coming together at these off-sites to be able to really serve them better, and to, instead of kind of alignment, these students become our students from the get-go. So what happens is we have students in basic lit, adult ed, ESL. So they're learning to read and write in English, and they are essentially college students at that time. And we take them through, we get them to see a counselor right away. Thanks to the counseling division here on our campus, we have counselors that go off-site and help them. And these are not only just helping our students, but also their children as well. So it's a wonderful kind of blend of the programs and services that we offer here at Saddleback in the community at the lowest levels, really, and then feeding them up to our colleges.
Just one comment about the curriculum. You asked a question about curriculum approval. For example, AESL, it is non-credit, and it did go through our regular process. So it's really great to see our adjuncts, but our full-time faculty have been the ones who've carried the ball in terms of getting the content through. And a lot of our students, and I know Estella's students as well, are there simply to acquire a language and be able to practice it without having to incur financial aid debt, without having to hurt their transcript, and to be able to really practice in an environment that's going to be supportive long term. They're going to be able to take these classes for more than 2 or 3 times as well.
And so what we've seen, and just so you're aware as well, is that we built all these courses in adult ed ESL. We've also submitted to the state to have certificate programs for these, so that way the colleges will receive full funding rate, because they are considered as enhanced non-credit funding. So that's a commitment as well to from our state. So we'll see this. We have curriculum in the queue right now for adults with disabilities, for our CTE non-credit, and for basic skills as well. So we have a lot of curriculum kind of going in the queue to continue to develop programming.
Thank you.
Thank you. I had 2 questions. How are we reaching the students through our outreach? And then 2, how are we interacting with what CalWorks is doing, for example, and the one-stop centers?
Okay, great. How are we outreaching? Well, we're out in the communities. So we had a wonderful experience because we had to go out and really speak to the community about this change. This was a significant change, as you can imagine, going from a K-12 system to the college. And what is that? What does that even look like? So there was a lot of communication, information sessions that we were doing out in the community. We go through our partners as well. My division, for example, we also do after-school programming. So we're at 35 elementary schools. So all of our promotion and marketing is what we do to make sure that folks in the districts are aware of the programs that we have. It's also in our community education catalog that goes out to almost 288,000 local residents. So we try to get the word out there as well. We do monthly newsletters, and Leslie's team is out there at the sites doing outreach in the community constantly, and the same holds true in the north and IVC and the partners in the north as well. We're doing the best that we can, and as a consortia coming together to leverage our resources to get the word out with regard to that. And your second question?
So I'm just curious because it seems like there's some overlap between what we're trying to do and what CalWorks does,
Oh,
and then
thank you
what
for
the
CalWorks.
one-stop centers as well.
So CalWorks is really a wonderful thing. We are working with the CalWorks department here on a campus. We had a number of students who identify themselves as CalWorks that we weren't aware of, and so those students are being shared with the CalWorks department here. They're reaching out, going off-site, to do the counseling sessions with them to make sure that they receive all the benefits that CalWorks students normally would receive. And so there's kind of a sharing of sharing of program site, the ability for them to go and outreach to the community. It may, in some cases, for example, we just pulled a report last week and there was 41 students who identified themselves at CalWorks that our program here is reaching out to.
And the one-stop center, the county one-stop centers?
So in terms of work that do you want to comment that?
Just real quickly, both the AEBG as well as you've probably heard of the Strong Workforce grant that's coming through as well. All of these initiatives are really to create this kind of seamless bridge to assist people to gain the skills to get employment. CalWorks as well as One Stop are part of that conversation, and they're part of that group I was mentioning are other partners who come to the table. For example, when we're going to be having a curriculum conference here at the end of April, those folks will also be involved. The Orange County Department of Education, the rehab centers, CalWorks, et cetera, are folks that come to the table, and we have this opportunity to sit around in both a formal and informal kind of conference to bring each other up to date on what all of these initiatives mean and the service that we're providing to all of the folks that I mentioned and the skills that they need. And just one other thing on outreach, we've been offering information in multiple languages as well, and it's just a way to create that additional sense of access.
Great. Thank you very much. Trustee Witt.
For the sake of time, it's okay. We'll go on.
Good?
Yeah.
I think the Chancellor wants to add a comment.
I just want to make a comment. You have before you this evening 6.11 and 6.12, and what those are sub-agreements with two of the K through 12 partners. And for you to have context like this and really understand what's happening on the adult educational block grant program and the work that they've gone through, both Estella and Kathleen, when this change came through a few years ago, it was really challenging. And I just want to recognize that these two have done a phenomenal job working on this program, working with the K through 12 partners and working with the other regional partners. And it's not easy to do a consortium, and I want to recognize the fact how well you've been working together. So thank you again.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Moving forward, we're now on to the consent. Yes. Did I miss something? Oh. Yes, Kathy Schmeidler.
I may, and now I can. I just wanted to add one comment. We've been talking about adult ESL and the advantages to those students, but it's also been advantageous for the ESL students who are interested in moving through the program quickly and using it, for example, to be ready to transfer or to get into the job market faster. So the people taking the credit ESL have also been favorably impacted by the separation between the AESL non-credit component and the ESL credit component. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Okay, now we're on to the consent calendar 5.0. Do I have any polls from board members? I got to keep doing that. Trustee Prendergast.
5.1, please.
5.3.
Trustee Wright, 5.3. Any others? I don't see any requests. Okay, is there a motion to move the remainder of the items? Motion from Trustee Wright. We had another motion to adjourn. Unfortunately, we still got about half the agenda to go through. Motion to, it's actually approved, but that's all right. Motion to approve from Trustee Wright, second from Trustee Milchiker. Any further discussion? Let's go ahead and vote on the item. We have a unanimous trustee yes vote and a student advisory yes vote. I got it now. All right. Trustee Prendergast, 5.1.
Okay, on the minutes, and I'm going to give credit where credit's due here. Trustee Ford pointed this out to me, but asked not to get credit, but I'm doing it anyway. If you look at the items 6. Where'd it go? 6.4. No, I lost it myself. 6.6. And then 6.7, we have BP 5520 used twice. Once for the shower facilities for homeless students, and then for accreditation. And I looked back at the old agenda, and it was the same way on the agenda, so there was a typo all the way back in February. So I don't know whether the proper process is to approve the minutes as with the correction, but I don't know what the correction is, because I don't know what the real number should be.
And that shower bill needs to be renumerated because the accreditation is listed as VP 5520 on the website. So that revision, that's the actual board policy for that one.
So the shower one must have the
Shower
wrong
one
number.
has to be renumerated to another board policy number.
Sure, it's a typo, so we'll go ahead and correct that. And when we bring it back, we'll make sure it's the proper number.
All right, well then I'll move.
So we have motion
with
to
the
approve
change.
5.1 from trustee Prendergast, second from trustee Witt. Seeing no further discussion, let's vote on the item. We're not adjourning. Just look at the left-hand side of the screen
There it is. It just changed to approve it.
to approved. So there's some grammar issues here.
You can't, motion to approved.
Yeah, I don't have anything on, we don't have our voting screen up. There we go. So 5.1 is unanimously approved by trustees with the student advisory trustee yes vote. Okay, 5.3, trustee Wright.
My question concerns several courses. This is the marine science courses, intermediate ocean sailing. It was $135. That was the current fee, and now it's zero fee. There's also advanced cruising under sail, $220, now zero. And then vessel command and organization, $220, now zero. Is there still a fee with those, or is the division picking those up?
No, there's still a fee. Sorry, yeah, go ahead. But these are material fees that we're approving, and those are actually field trip fees.
Oh,
So we're
okay.
correcting it and no longer recording them as material fees to the students, and the field trip fees will be handled separately.
Okay.
You good?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion to approve 5.3. A motion from trustee Lang and a second from trustee Jay. Any additional discussion? Let's go ahead and not vote to adjourn, but approve 5.3. We need to correct that grammar as well. We have a unanimous trustee yes vote and a student advisory yes vote. Okay, I think we've finished consent calendar. We're now on to general action items. 6.1, the CCCT Board of Directors 2017 election. Do we have a recommendation for a slate to nominate 9 candidates to the state CCC board? Trustee Prendergast.
Yeah, I would like to recommend, as was promoted on my behalf when I was running, is that we kind of support the local Orange County candidates. So that would be, I would like to make a motion that we support Marissa Perez from Cerritos and Jim Moreno from Coast. That would be my preference.
We don't have to move 9?
You don't. You can bullet vote.
Okay. Does anyone want to add additional names or are there any objections to those names? Okay. Trustee Jay,
I had
Lang. Oh, right, Lang. Doesn't matter. Go ahead, Jim.
I had also put down Stephen Blum, number 5, who's number 5, Blum. Laura Cassis, number 6, Stephen Castellanos.
Can you say what district they're from?
San Jose Delta for Stephen.
Okay.
For Laura Foothill Delanza.
Okay.
For Stephen Ventura.
Okay.
And then Lauren Steck from Monterey. Adrena Gray from West Valley Mission. And then I had also circled Pam Hayes from Los Rios Community College District and Richard Walters. That would be 9.
Okay. I'm going to need some help here. I wasn't taking as copious notes as I should. So we've got, you got it? We have nominated, a motion to nominate Marissa Perez from Cerritos, Stephen Blum from Ventura, Laura Casas from Foothill Danza, Stephen Castellanos from San Joaquin Delta, Lauren Steck, Monterey, Adrian Gray, West Valley, Pam Hayes, Los Rios, Richard Waters, Olone, and Jim Moreno, Coast. Is that 9?
Yes.
All right. I think it's 9.
It's 9.
Any objections?
Again, I would remind the board that if we vote for a number of Northern Cal candidates, they don't necessarily reciprocate from what the information I've been given when I ran. So we can do it.
Well, let me ask
My
Trustee Wright.
original motion was.
Are these people you know and feel strongly
Well,
about?
a couple of them
They're
I
all people
know,
we got emails
but
from.
the other thing is
Well,
yeah, but I was going, I read their bios and I was just going on their experience and what they'd done. So that's why I selected them. See, there were several there. There was several people there that had been trustees only for a year or two, and I thought they needed more experience than that.
Well, Marissa's a non-incumbent. She's new. So that it's kind of the idea of trying to get
Right.
more Southern Cal people on that board. So if we vote for incumbents, they're probably going to get a lot of support from their areas already. It's just the politics of it. You can choose to do 9 just to have 9, or you can choose to stay in your area, and it's a philosophical discussion. So my original motion was for those 2. If we want to do a motion to add, we can.
Yours was for Jim Moreno and Marissa Perez.
Right.
Yeah, 1 and 14.
I haven't gotten a second on that motion, but that was
Well,
my original motion.
You made a motion. Okay. There's a motion from Trustee Prendergast and a second from Trustee Witt to nominate Marissa Perez and Jim Moreno. Trustee Wright. Okay. Well, do you have a question on the motion? What? Well, go ahead.
From the kid on the block who doesn't get to serve very much time, I would also say that, having served time on boards is important, but it doesn't necessarily equal merit. Some people do much more in their short time than people who serve for a very long time. It's just something to consider when you're looking at candidates.
There's truth to that. Trustee Lang. Because we have now a motion and a second, so we're now discussing
Understood.
the first motion.
Yes, just coincidentally, I had pretty much the folks that Jim Wright had indicated, with probably just perhaps one significant difference, and that was I did not have Marissa Perez, although I have no objection to Marissa Perez. I did have Andrew Hoffman from Los Angeles, technically in the southern part of the state, also on my short list of candidates.
Well, I guess we have a motion and a second.
They can amend the motion if they want to add
they
names,
can.
or we can vote on the one and then have a new motion for new names.
Right. Would either of you, Jim, Trustee Wright, would you like to amend Trustee Prendergast's motion?
I would amend it by going along with Andrea Hoffman, That would give us 3.
Sure. I consider that friendly.
Okay. Any other names on your amendment, or you want to go with that?
That's all.
Okay. So we have a friendly amendment to the motion. We have a motion and a second. And do you guys have it? Joyce and Grace? Got it? All right. Let's go ahead and vote on the item. We have a 7-0 trustee yes vote with a student advisory yes vote. Great. All right. Don't touch me. Very good. Now we're on to 6.2. And I think we're at the public hearing. So now we are at board agenda item 6.2. South Orange County Community College District, ATEP enter an agreement with the Irvine Ranch Water District for Grant of Easements at ATEP County of Orange Land Exchange Site Public Hearing. Before we have the public hearing, Chancellor Fitzsimmons will provide an introduction.
The agenda item pertains to a public hearing to allow the district to enter into 2 easements with Irvine Ranch Water District for utility purposes for the county's animal care facility. Until such time that the land exchange can be completed, the district is the owner of the land affected by the easement, and the county has requested that these easements be granted for IRWD to service their facility. There is one additional board item that relates to this public hearing, item 6.3. If you have any questions throughout this public hearing process this evening, both Brandy DeLana and myself are here to assist.
So does the board have any questions to staff to assist with the understanding of this matter? Okay, board item 6.2, public hearing on the matter at hand is now open. Okay. Seeing no comments or questions, the public hearing is now closed.
Looks like you've got a motion to adjourn in a second.
I'm going through the hearing script right now. Are there any further discussions on this matter by the Board of Trustees? 6.2 is now concluded. We'll now move on to item 6.3, and I'll ask for a motion and a second on item 6.3. We have a motion from Trustee Milchiker and a second from Trustee Lang. Do we have any discussion on 6.3? Seeing none, let's go ahead and vote on the item. We have a 7-0 trustee yes vote and a student advisory yes vote. Now on to 6.4, which is into another we're now at board agenda item 6.4, ATEP Grant of Easement Agreement with Southern California Edison, public hearing. Before we have that public hearing, Chancellor Fitzsimmons will provide an introduction.
The agenda item pertains to a public hearing to allow the district to enter into an easement with Southern California Edison for utility purposes to locate pad mount equipment on the ATEP site that will service both the Orange County Animal Care Facility and provide future capacity for the ATEP site. There is one additional board item that relates to this public hearing, item 6.5. If you have any questions throughout this public hearing process this evening, both Brandy DeLana and myself are here to assist.
Does the board have any questions for the staff or our consultants? No? Okay. Board item 6.4, public hearing on the matter at hand is now open. I don't think we have any comments or requests to speak, so the public hearing is now closed. Is there any further discussion or questions on this matter from the Board of Trustees? I see not. So item 6.4 is now concluded, and we'll move on to item 6.5, and I will entertain a motion in a second to approve 6.5. We have a motion from Trustee Wright and a second from Trustee Witt. Any other discussion? Seeing none, let's go ahead and vote on the item. Have a unanimous trustee yes vote and a student advisory yes vote. Excellent. Okay, we're on to 6.6, Saddleback College Study Abroad Program to Southeastern Brazil in June and July of 2017.
No changes.
Excellent. Is there a motion to approve? Motion from Trustee Lang and a second from Trustee Milchiker to approve the item. Any questions or discussions? Go ahead and vote on the item. We're waiting for somebody. There we go. Unanimous trustee yes vote and a student advisory yes vote. We're now on to 6.7, which is the IVC Barranca Entrance Project, Assignment of Easement Agreement. Lots of easements this evening. Do we have a motion to approve the item? Motion from Trustee Lang and a second from Trustee Milchiker. Any requests to speak? Seeing none, let's go ahead and vote on the item. It's a 7-0 trustee approval with a student advisory yes vote. 6.8, South Orange County Community College District 5-year construction plan. And I think Brandy's going to do a short overview.
Yes. Movie star Brandy's going to come up and give a presentation for a few minutes regarding the 5-year construction plan.
Hi, good evening. Excuse my sunglasses. I had eye surgery recently, so I'm hiding that mess behind this.
Saying it's a good look for you.
Great.
You want to keep it.
Thank you. All right, so the 5-year plan is a plan that we submit to the State Chancellor's office. It's a little bit of a misnomer because it's submitted every year, and it's a new plan every year. What it means by 5-year is that it identifies a full 5 years of planning for projects moving forward. There's also projects that were for the previous year and projects that might ensue following that 5 years. So when you're looking at your plan, what you're really looking at is anywhere from 7 to 8 years of plan, which is why on the final, if you're looking at the exhibit on the final plan, you'll see that that goes to 2025. So let's see a little bit about the 5-year plan. We submit this to the State Chancellor's office as one of the steps that we need to take in order to be approved for state funding. The state matches on occasion will match some of our project funds, and right now we have 2 projects that are at the State Chancellor's office with a hope of having them approved not for this next cycle, but hopefully the following cycle.
Which 2?
That would be the Saddleback Gateway Project and the Irvine Valley College Fine Arts Project. So the total of state match between the 2 of those projects is approximately $4 million. Oh, that's later.
Not 4, more than 4.
Okay. Yeah.
You said Gateway and Fine Arts?
Sorry. Saddleback College Gateway and IVC Fine Arts Project. So now with the 5-year plan that you have in front of you, if you're looking at the exhibit, you'll see some items that have been highlighted in yellow, and those are to emphasize the changes from last year's plan and this year's plan. At the right side, there's 2 left columns, and the second left column shows some dashes, which are pretty remarkable because what they indicate are either projects that were completed this year or will soon be completed. So the first one being the Sciences Project. The next one, the Barranca Entrance Project, is not yet complete, but will be complete and is proposed for, I believe it's an April 18th opening. Then there's the Fine Arts HVAC upgrade, which was completed over the summer and winter breaks. And then the new Liberal Arts Building over at IVC. Finally, the last dash represents the athletic stadium, which was combined with the site improvements project. So those are all completed, and then moving down the line, you'll see that Campus Village and Gateway were moved up. That's to maximize our priority status at the State Chancellor's office. The ATEP Utility and Infrastructure Project, you'll see a dash in last year's project listing. It's been added. It was on a different list, and now we've incorporated it onto the project list this year. Other changes were the Fine Arts Promenade and the Gateway Building Transit Entrance Plaza. Those were moved up to align with those 2 projects, possibility of those 2 projects. being approved. And finally, the quad landscape project moved from the 8th slot down to the 19th slot. And that is because it was originally a part of the stadium site improvement project and was pulled out for a future renovation project. So those are your changes. Everything else is the same.
Great. Stay up there because you got some questions coming your way. Trustee Lang.
Yes, I guess my one question is that if in order to, I guess, assure that we try and get funding through the state on those projects that we've identified, why wouldn't we want to prioritize those projects higher on this list?
You'll notice that they're as high as they can be without impacting projects that are already underway. So they're the very next priority of projects that are not already underway. So going down the list, the demolition, a demolition project isn't going to impact a building of a new project, so that one's in a fine place. Renovate the task building is already in design, and the stadium and site improvements is already in design. A good question to ask, though, is why wouldn't they be in front of the campus village? And that's, I think, a question you're asking. Campus village is a removal of space, and when we take space off a campus, we improve what's called our capacity load ratio. And the state looks at our capacity compared to our square footage to determine whether or not we're really eligible for more square footage. So by putting that village project in front of the gateway, it's saying, and it's truly saying, we're going to take that offline, we won't have that space, and we have a need for more space. So that increases our points.
Thank you.
My goodness. It's a matrix.
Thank you. Trustee Wright.
My question again now concerns the task building. Has a final decision been made on whether to redo the task building or to build a new building?
No, we're still in analysis on that, and we expect within the, I'd say, last time we met it was about a 6-week time frame, so within 2 to 3 weeks we should have a better understanding. And what that understanding is derived from is an analysis of the existing programs, how they fit into the existing building for renovation, and what they might look like in a new building. So that's what we're in the process of doing. It's a fairly complicated process, especially when you consider the task building holds the career technical education programs, and
Right.
those programs are they're rapidly changing. So one of the things we really need to evaluate is whether or not the existing building will address that change, or if those changing programs would be better served in a new building.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Trustee Prendergast.
Do I have to? Do I have to ask?
No, you don't.
Do I have to ask?
You're starting to sound like a broken record.
No,
should get
Not even on the list.
We should get him his pool.
I'm doing the, what was that Johnny Carson thing with the card? What is the swimming pool? No,
Johnny
it's not on
Carson.
the list because it wasn't in the previous education and facilities master planning as a priority. However, we are coming up to a new planning process, and it's entirely possible it could be in that new planning process.
But don't hold your breath.
Maybe he should hold his breath.
You need to have a little pull in this district.
All right. Trustee Milchiker.
Yeah, I have a few questions. One, we got an email from the state chancellor's office, and on it you click through to see all the buildings that were included on the statewide bond issue that's coming down, I think, in 2018. And of course, we're not on it, but I've been told that our next projects are going to be on it. So are they going to be sending another list down with the secondary projects on it? So the secondary projects that will get funding? What they were doing, of course, is asking all of the districts to help and get the bond passed. And you have a much more incentive to help get the bond passed if you have a project on it, obviously. So make us much more work much harder to get it passed if we have some of our buildings on it. So that's number one. And number two, about the task building, the technology and applied science building. Are you meeting with the people in the various disciplines, like in the auto mechanics and the all the different areas, to determine what their particular needs are now and in the future as technology changes for all these different disciplines?
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, two questions.
So let me answer your list question first. The State Chancellor's Office develops lists for funding projects, and they do that annually typically. But because of the governor's approach for funding only emergency projects, they have determined that they will keep those projects that were identified for funding moving forward for 2 years, which means we have 2 lists now. We have the first year of funding list and the second year of funding list. And we've been told that we will maintain our position on that second year funding list as long as we are capacity load, that thing I was just talking about before, as long as we're capacity load qualified. So we're on the second list, second year of funding, if funding is actually released. And the discussion you were sharing with us about supporting the bond release is related to the possibility that that bond, instead of being distributed over the 3-year proposed plan for community colleges, could be distributed over a much longer period of time. And if that were to occur, then we would not likely receive funding in that second year, and that list would be reconsidered. So that's one.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then the task renovation and the participants in the evaluation. The evaluation process, first, it begins to look at the historical perspective of how the programs have been filled, whether or not they've been successful programs. So we look to a 10-year history and see, is this a successful class? Is this a class that we want to, is this curriculum that is it wise for us to carry this curriculum forward? Or do we have a very low attendance and it's time to think about what the new generation would look like? And so first we do the history, and then we meet with the dean and we talk about what those findings were and how those programs have traditionally required this many square footage. After we do that analysis, the next thing to do is to talk with the dean about what the future for that division departments, what those futures are looking like. And once we have those conversations, then we have a really solid information place to meet with faculty and staff and talk to them about, here's what our findings are, here's what we've been told are the desires for the future, and how do you see it progressing? So it's kind of a three-legged stool.
And I do know that, the technical courses that we have the technical fields that we have at our college have advisory committees of people out in the fields out that are working, and they probably have a good handle on what the employment possibilities will be for these particular disciplines in the future. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Brandy, and I hope you recover nicely. I still like the look, though.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve 6.8, the construction plan? Motion from Trustee Wright, a second from Trustee Witt. I don't think we have any additional questions. Let's go ahead and vote on the item. We have a unanimous trustee yes vote and a student advisory yes vote. Oh, not yet. Didn't come up. All right. Yes, we do. Okay. 6.9, authorization of payment to trustee absent from board meeting. I have a motion to approve this item. Motion from Trustee Lang and a second from Trustee Wright. No further discussion. Let's go ahead and vote.
Yeah, yes, of course.
The motion carries by a 6-0 vote from trustees, 1 trustee abstention, and 1 student advisory yes vote. 6.10, specialized real estate advisory service for ATEP site development project. A motion to approve the item. It's a motion from Trustee Jay, a second from Trustee Lang. Discussion or comment from myself is that I understand these are important services. I do think that they're costly to us. I've indicated that to the Chancellor to see if we can find a way to have these rates at a public agency level. I don't really honestly see them at that level at this time. We are a public agency. We're not Goldman Sachs. We're not an iBanking firm on Wall Street. This is a public agency, and we have to obviously pay for these services, but I do think they're costly. I'm going to vote on the item, but I hope we can find a way in the future to deal with these fees. We have a 7-0 trustee vote and a student advisory yes vote. 6.11, South Orange County Regional Consortium, the AEBG grant, which we know a lot about because we had an excellent presentation earlier. Is there a motion to approve this item? Motion from Trustee Lang, second from Trustee Milchiker. We've discussed it, and let's move on to the vote. A motion from Trustee Lang, and second Trustee Milchiker, unanimous trustee yes vote, student advisory yes vote. 6.12, South Orange County Regional Consortium, ABG block grant subcontract agreement with the Irvine Unified School District. Motion from Trustee Lang, second from Trustee Witt. Any other discussion on this subcontract agreement? Seeing none. Vote on the item. Unanimous trustee yes vote and a student advisory yes vote. 6.13, board policy revision. It's not up on our screen yet. There it is. Do we have a motion to approve the item?
It's not up.
Motion from Trustee Prendergast, a second from Trustee Wright. Any discussions on these board policies? No? Let's go ahead and vote. Have a unanimous trustee yes vote and a student advisory yes vote. 6.14, academic personnel actions. Regular items. No changes. We have a motion to move and approve the item. Motion from Trustee Milchiker, a second from Trustee Wright, and question from Trustee Lang.
Yes, just under A2, second name, in the third sentence, it refers to a she, and I think that looks incorrect to me.
You're talking about Exhibit A?
Yes, I'm talking about 2A, or A2, Jason Lynch. Page 2 of 6. Third sentence, she.
Yes, that does. I would recommend changing that to he. Yes. That would not be, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good catch. Okay. Any other comments, questions, corrections? Let's go ahead and vote on the item. Oh, okay. You want on this item? Yeah. I think we're still waiting to process the vote. We need one more vote? Okay, there we go. Have unanimous trustee yes vote, student advisory abstention. All right. 6.15, classified personnel actions, regular items. One change to the item.
One change, if request by Saddleback College on Exhibit A on page 4 of 7.
Okay.
If you look there on C1, they request that it be pulled from the agenda.
Say that again?
On Exhibit A, page 4 of 7, underneath C1, Saddleback College requests that that item be pulled from the agenda.
Okay, that's fine. With that,
That's it.
with that change, we have a motion from Trustee Prendergast and a second from Trustee Lang. Any additional questions from the board? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Unanimous trustee yes vote and student advisory abstention. All right. And our last general action item is the POA master agreement. Do we have a motion to approve the item? I have a motion from Trustee Wright and a second from Trustee Milchiker. Anybody want to say anything about it? Any comments or questions? Okay. Let's go ahead and vote. We have a unanimous trustee yes vote and student advisory yes vote. Very good. Let's move on to reports. Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College speakers. List of speakers for events coming up at IVC and Saddleback. Staff response to public comments from the previous board meeting. I don't think we have any. Basic aid report 7.3. No changes to the item. 7.4 facilities plan status report. Chancellor Fitzsimmons.
Yes. We have this facilities plan status report in your agenda every month, and it is a really thick, very detailed report, and it provides a lot of information. We talked in business services, and we'd like to highlight, just briefly, one project every month, just to be able to provide the board and the community with a little bit of an overview. So we're starting that this month with a feature project for Irvine Valley College Laser Way, formerly known as Barranca Entrance Project. And coincidentally, it's going to be opening very soon, so Brandy's going to give a quick highlight of that project.
Yay, and the screen's working for me. All right, so we're so excited to be able to tell you about the Laserway opening. It's a connection that's been dreamed of for as long as I've worked in this district. And Dr. Rockmore, how long?
See if I can get this turned up. There it goes. About 18 years, I think.
Yeah, so it's been a long time in the making. And before that, it was actually an easement that was provided to the college district by the Irvine Company. When they first dreamed up that there would be a college here, they dreamed up this connection. And so this little land bridge has been there for a very long time. And let's see if we can look at the pictures here. All right, so the very first thing we did was take the land bridge that was existing and scrape off all the weeds. And pretty soon it's starting to look like this might actually happen. And because this was a road project, we were encountering new technologies that we don't get a chance to see very often. One of which was this machine that gave us a curb which laid the rebar and the concrete all at one time without a form. And that was pretty exciting to us because we just don't see that when we're building buildings typically. This picture here shows where the asphalt was just beginning to be laid, and now it's really, really starting to look like a connection. And then things kind of ground to a halt for a little while, as they are prone to do in construction at times. This time, however, it was related to the fact that this project is a multi-agency project. So it involves the city of Irvine, it involves the Southern California Edison, and it involves the Irvine Company, and all of those folks had a little bit of say in it. Southern California Edison told us they would let us know when the electricity would be available to the light posts, and so there was a little bit of a pause there. This shows a gentleman who's working on the controls for those light signals. There'll be a signal at this street. And then this photo here, I wanted to share this one with you because on the left, because it shows the cage that exists under a street light. It's just amazing to me, not only in our buildings, but as well as our street lights, how much steel is underground to keep those things seismically braced during any kind of an earth event. So then the next one is showing how much technology is involved in this kind of a project. While mostly it's heavy civil and it's just pushing the dirt and putting the asphalt and putting the concrete, but things have come a long way and there's an incredible amount of technology involved in controlling the streetlights and controlling the signal. So that's what this is showing to you. And then these slides, the one on top represents a little bit, the story there is it rained a lot. this year. And it affected this project. Out where this street is, it's fairly flat. And so as the rain events occurred, we discovered that perhaps a little too flat, and we're working on ensuring that there won't be too much ponding out there in the future. So that came to our attention. That was a good thing, and we can address it before it becomes a problem and our contractors are gone. And then finally, the last slide shows you a nearly completed connection. We're just with the barricade at the end, just waiting for the signal. And we're just waiting for that signal, and it'll be opened. And Dr. Rockmore has some plans for an opening on this connector for April 18th, I believe, in the morning. And was there anything else you'd like to say about that opening, Dr. Rockmore?
Okay, just so everybody knows, this is, how long is this road? 200, it's...
Honestly, I don't know, but it's not very long.
Yeah, it's probably just short of 100 yards. So we're not looking at having all of our elected officials and city fathers and everybody out to give a long speech. So what we have instead, again, because it's a road, is the symbology of having students in golf carts have their first drive across the road and break a ribbon on their way through. And so no speeches, but a great opportunity to see a lot of very happy students. This is an important emergency access route for all of us, but students in particular. So it's a great accomplishment. We'll have them do most of the celebrating.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Brandy. Okay. I think we're on now to go back to my agenda screen. We're now at 7.5, monthly financial status report. And 7.6, retiree OPEB trust fund.
Oh, good.
All right. Let's move on to reports from our governance groups and the administration. And we'll start out with the Saddleback College Academic Senate.
Good evening, trustees and Interim Chancellor Fitzsimmons. Just want to echo the sentiments regarding the accreditation site visit. I was there during the whole process, but I was also there during the exit, and it truly was, it was a really great way to end that entire experience. The faculty, staff, and students involved have worked just so hard on this self-study and on this site visit, and to end it on that note was just a really great. It was a really great feeling for all of us. So I'm incredibly proud of Saddleback. I'm really proud of our colleagues over at IVC as well. So it was a really great way. Oh,
After you finish?
yeah, go ahead.
I couldn't be at Saddleback's because Saddleback's and Irvine Valley were exactly at the same time on the same day. So
Yeah, we're upset you weren't there. Just
I
kidding.
I had to represent the board at IVC. So
Thank you. And then as far as Academic Senate at Saddleback goes, we are gearing up to host our elections for new Senate officers. So my time as a Senate president is coming to an end very quickly. I know you're all going to miss me, so but that's all for tonight.
We will definitely miss you. Thanks for sticking it out for all these meetings. Now we have the Faculty Association.
Good evening. Just one quick thing to report tonight. At the upcoming CCA Spring Conference this April, Kurt Meyer, who's an English professor at Irvine Valley College, will be honored with a WHO Award, which recognizes leadership and advocacy at the local chapter. For several years, Kurt's been a driving force behind a series of workshops which are designed to assist part-time faculty in applying for and interviewing for full-time faculty tenure-track jobs. And he's done a great job with that. In addition, he's our president-elect and will be replacing me at the end of my term. So he's done a lot of things that are really beneficial to our local association. So we'd like to congratulate Professor Meyer on this well-deserved recognition. Thank you.
Thank you. IVC Academic Senate. And there's a clicking noise. Is that us? Okay.
Oh, blame it all on Joyce.
I know, the wrong person to do it to.
As has been mentioned many times, the end of the accreditation experience, this year's accreditation experiences. We're very happy. We hope that the responses from the ACCJC will follow suit, and I think everybody is feeling very confident and pleased right now, so that's a good thing. We have had our elections, and I know my successor, so after commencement, I will no longer be Academic Senate President. Freedom, freedom. I won't bother you with the song, but I think you can all go back to the 60s and remember all those wonderful freedom songs. And my successor will be June McLaughlin, who teaches our is in charge of our paralegal program and teaches in business sciences. And the new vice president will be Jeff Kaufman, who teaches in biological sciences.
And when will that take place, that transition?
I am president through commencement. The next day they take office.
And I've been on the board for 4.5 years. I've never known another academic senate president.
Well, just
at
you
IVC.
wait, Henry Higgins. No, I think you'll find June it will be a pleasure to work with. So just you wait.
Just you wait.
There you go.
Got it. Well, thank you, Kathy. Vice Chancellor of Technology and Learning Services.
No report this evening.
Thank you. Vice Chancellor of Human Resources.
We had our first round of people applying for early retirement with our classified staff and administrators. It was a little bit more than we anticipated, but the real critical date is going to take place on April 7th when our faculty have their deadline. So after that, we'll be able to make a decision to the Board of Trustees with a recommendation. So.
Thank you. Are you acting or interim Vice Chancellor?
Acting.
Okay, acting Vice Chancellor of Business Services, Kim McCord.
Just briefly, we did have our audit committee meeting this afternoon, and we had our entrance meeting with our new audit firm, Vincenti, Lloyd & Stutzman, and we look forward to working with them.
Thank you. We have IVC Classified Senate, Karen Martin. Wait, you're not Karen Martin.
Not Karen Martin. Maria Nunez for Karen Martin. She
Yes.
didn't make it. But she just wanted me to share one thing with you guys. We are doing our second professional development summit on June 9th, so we're really excited about that, and that's what we have going on.
Okay, great. Thank you. And Scott Green, CSEA President.
Thank you, Mr. President, Board of Trustees, Interim Chancellor. Over the weekend, CSA made an effort to do some leadership training at one of the field offices, which is in El Monte. And they were really looking to, and they did get some new chapter presidents and some new leadership. They're looking for younger people to really kind of pick up the mantle when all of us are retired and gone. Not that I'm going anywhere, but for the most part, when more people start moving on, they want more young, energetic, innovative, new leaders. And so CSA has also made the effort to be able to provide some of the education and training at some of the sites, whether it be K through 12 or the community colleges. And some of the programs are a culture and diversity training, building your network, CSA leadership skills, develop your inner leader. All these particular programs, which is approximately about 2 hours each session, is uniquely to try to find the talent and to really find the leaders of tomorrow for CSEA. So they're going to be continuing with this program through the rest of this year and into 2018 so that we can find new talent to take over the leadership of CSEA.
Thank you, Scott. And to close out the evening, we have Saddleback College Classified Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two things to speak about tonight. First, I would like to officially recognize Cora Swanson as the 2017-2018 Saddleback Classified Employee of the Year. This was announced this last week at Saddleback's Classified Development Day. The second thing is Saddleback College this Friday, March 31st, will be hosting the California Community College's Classified Senate Organization Regional Retreat. It's a mouthful, isn't it? And the topics will include strategizing and sharing best practices relating to committee participation and Senate challenges. I look forward to reporting about that meeting and our next board meeting. Thank you very much.
Go back into closed session. Yeah. Yeah, Trustee Prendergast.
Need to make a motion
Yeah.
to recess to close session.
Correct. As we have a motion to recess into closed session from Trustee Prendergast. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second?
We have a second from Trustee Milchiker. Any further discussion on the item? Are you guys going to record it, or I should do a
It's not an adjournment. Oh, there it is. In a recess. So I
Okay.
made the motion.
motion from Trustee Prendergast, second from Trustee Milchiker to recess into closed session? Go ahead and vote on the item. Motion carries, unanimous trustee yes vote, and a student advisory abstention. So we are now recessed into closed session. Sorry for the tardy start, but we finished in decent time. Thank you, everybody.
Craig. Craig. That Survivor Day was awesome.
It was great. It was
Yeah.
so much fun.
There you go.
Oh, she's here now?
Yeah.